Manned Spacecraft Center, please. Network support team.
Manned Spacecraft Center, Houston. This is the home of astronaut training and Apollo control. Houston, I see. T plus 107 minutes. Third stage refire still looks good for
1548. Roger, Houston. We can now confirm Goldstone's and Canberra's readiness for Apollo support at $1,500.
Roger, JPL.
On acquisition, go remote and transmit format 3 high-speed data. When you enter the control center for manned flight, you have fully stepped into the world of real time, though everything may seem very unreal at first. Real time means simply right now time, or as close to it as we can get. The instrumentation controller monitors tracking station readiness and performance right now. The biomedical officer watches the astronauts' heartbeats and respiration right now. The flight director watches the swiftly changing position of the spacecraft right now. And the spacecraft communicator is talking with the astronauts right now, which is no surprise since their voices are coming from this facility nearby, where they will spend many days flying to the moon and back without moving more than a few inches.
Fuel cell voltages and currents.
Roger. Onboard fuel cell 1 reading 29 volts, 9 amps. For every hour of spaceflight, an astronaut may spend 100 in simulations. It's the same for the Apollo tracking stations. And these skill drills are so like the real thing that everyone easily forgets that they aren't. But today's simulation is only beginning. Theoretically, Apollo is still in Earth orbit, and the station at Carnarvon, West Australia will be next to acquire. Directly from the Houston computers come predictions telling the wide-beam radars where to look. And as they lock on, the direction is automatically passed to the long-range, narrow-beam antennas.
Spacecraft, valid C and S-band track.
CSM and IU, TM solid.
Flight Carnarvon, we have valid radar track and TM solid.
Roger.
Everything's real but the flight itself, and these dummy flight tapes take care of that. Simulations contain the types of complications which might occur during an actual flight.
Platform, Sergeant.
Go ahead, Sergeant.
Command pilot stage looks pretty good from here.
Roger.
GSC go, Capcom.
ECOM go, except for fuel cell 1. Boosters go, Capcom.
Apollo, Carnarvon Capcom on VHF.
Carnarvon, Apollo. We'd like for you to pull fuel cell 2 offline. We hope that we can increase the load on fuel cell 1 and bring it temp up. All right, stand by,
As
Carnarvon.
data comes in from the stations at Guam, Hawaii, Guaymas, Mexico, and Corpus Christi, Texas, computer displays at Houston indicate when the Earth, the Moon, and the spacecraft will all be in exactly the right place for refire into lunar transfer.
FI System 1 and 2 receiver test lamps are not lighted.
Even a 1-second error here could be a massive error at lunar distance. The command is loaded at Apollo Control at Houston and will be transmitted by the Atlantic ship. The tracking equipment on each of these 600-foot Apollo ships is roughly the same as you find on land, plus additional electronics to compute the effects of the ship's movements. Overhead, tracking planes of the Apollo network furnish further support during this critical maneuver. Now the spacecraft is go. The Atlantic ship systems are go. And from Houston comes the word. The mission is go for moon flight. At the precise moment the command is fired, and our astronauts observe their speed accelerate to over 25,000 miles per hour. For the bird is off the string, and tremendous forces are at work. Moon flight navigation is a mathematics jungle. It's something like trying to make a billiard shot on a spinning table in a revolving room. Without computers which can add a mile-high column of 7-digit numbers every second, it couldn't be done. As tracking data flows in, the computers display the time to fire the first mid-course correction. Out go the updates, commands to bring the onboard computer up to date. Through the communications network to the tracking station's on-site computers, and out to the spacecraft. In this case, to the back room, of course, back into the simulation program. Meanwhile, the astronauts are practicing solutions of the same problems using their onboard computer and by taking star sights to obtain their position. Although they are equipped to find their way alone, their safety is directly proportionate to the capabilities of the Earth-based equipment and manpower backing them up. Now, the simulation program confirms that Apollo has technically entered moon orbit. In this way, we've really been there many times already. Tracking, telemetry, command. No question of they're doing fine. Back at Goddard, the Earth satellite controller keeps his eyes on the heartbeat of Statan. And the Apollo station at Madrid receives a model of the Apollo command module, part of an educational exhibit to be shown throughout Spain. Madrid has just confirmed that the astronauts have theoretically finished their simulated excursion to the moon's surface and have proceeded safely back aboard the command module. At voice control, the late shift returns to work for the second time as the most crucial phase of the manned flight begins.
Voice control.
This is Houston, IC. Give me Catfish Test Director.
Catfish Test Director.
Apollo is tearing back to Earth. As tracking planes spring to their stations at 37,000 feet, a readiness countdown for all re-entry Apollo sites and ships has begun. These tests are in addition to the continuous computerized testing which we call CADFIS, a system constantly at work, side by side with operational traffic. CADFIS automatically monitors equipment status at the remote sites, judges the quality of their data, and displays the results for Houston and Goddard. Now all stations, ships, and planes are go. Here comes Apollo for re-entry at a speed nearly twice that of Gemini flights. The return course corrections were computed to aim the spacecraft into a segment of the Earth's upper atmosphere only 40 miles thick. Too high, the spacecraft would miss Earth altogether. Too low, it would be lost. Suddenly, all communications with the spacecraft are cut off as the hot gases surrounding the heat shield black out their radio signals. This is the point in the 7,500-mile landing footprint when the spacecraft has braked its speed as much as it dares and must now skip out again to cool off. In the land of the blind, one eye is king, and the re-entry jets strive valiantly to keep contact. But it's no go until the heat shield cools, the blackout ends, and the Pacific Ocean ship locks on. The computers go furiously to work. In mission control, the landing coordinates are displayed 15 minutes before it happens. Now, from its spectacular perch above Waimea Canyon in Oahu, the Hawaii station locks on to track the spacecraft down. This is when the ships and planes would converge on the target area. But the game is played out as the astronauts splash down into the theoretical waters of the simulation lab. Around the world, following a lengthy critique, the stations unwind. Get a good rest, boys. The next simulation is soon to follow.
Voice control, we're finished with the worldwide network. Thank you very much for your help.
Roger, and thank you, Houston. Attention London, Australia, and Honolulu. All centers can now go back on their normal non-mission configuration.
Roger, got it.
Cape mission test, got it, boys.
Go ahead.
Roger, mission test. We're finished with the order wire and breaking.
As each mission ends, others have already begun.
We're terminating Houston conference now.
Day by day, these men are helping to build a future in space for generations to follow.
We're terminating Houston conference now. Thank you very much.
The further you go into space, the more tracking becomes the vital link in bringing you and your findings back.